Die for her. Yo, what up, 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 what up?
Yo, you know about the algorithm is gonna kick us out with that shit. Just
on the internet this morning, I was seeing a debate that Hove, they were comparing Hove and Weezy. So they were saying that Weezy had a nice run compared to Hove. Hove has always been relevant, but it did not have like that run. Like this year is Hove's year. Like a whole decade, it was Hove's year. But then it was always relevant.
Nah, it did. Jay-Z was dropping album every summer, dog. For years and years and years until the Black Album. And all those albums had a cultural impact that even look at the entire catalog that Lil Wayne will never have.
Like in what sense?
You can't compare, dog. You can't compare Reasonable Doubt, the Black Album, the Blueprints, all three of them.
What cultural impact did they have?
They had, it's like every time he will drop, like his album will sort of encapsulate whatever was going on at the time. Whereas Lil Wayne was just glorifying drugs, clubs, alcohol, womanizing, all this negative bullshit that nigga raps about.
But if we're talking about
albums where he was talking about game, where he was talking about economic emancipation, he was talking like, that's the cultural relevance I'm talking about. He could manage to do that with all of his albums. What was the Carter one all about? Up until the fifth one.
Can't remember Carter one, but
okay. What was any album about? Have you ever had an album that had any substantive content?
Yeah, Mr. Milan, I think it was Carter 3.
What was it all about?
Misunderstood where it was talking about the whole political landscape of that time and also the Katrina issue.
Nah, dog, I'm talking about the entire body of work, the album.
Misunderstood, yeah. It was misunderstood. Okay. But if you're talking about cultural impact, Weezy had more cultural impact than Hove. If you look at how kids, if you look how appearance now of the kids now that are currently popping, they all got it from Weezy. Look at the face heads, dreads. Do you remember that time of YCMB? Young Money clothing. Young Money clothing was the most popular to the point that even South African rappers like KO took that from Weezy with this kind of world, this kind of clothing and all that. Even the naming the naming of record labels, it was all beaten from that Young Money, Cash Money, Old Money, Kuyo. So like I was saying
that whole thing, it can never be compared to what impact that Jay-Z had on the game. Jay-Z, when he came out, they had Rockaware. Rockaware was a proper imprint, a clothing label. Not just merchandise.
Ulan John was already popping. Fat Farm was already popping. Fubu was already popping.
What I'm saying is that even with Lil Wayne, everyone else had Ilenduka, a merchandise of Ilenduka, a company, and that's what they did with that Young Money thing. And it did not last for not even Rockaway
lasted a long time. The Young Money thing is still on now. Even if you look at the flea markets, illegal market, black market, those caps with YM, those caps with YM. Come on, dog.
Rockaway as a company, they sold that shit for almost $1 billion, bro. It was almost $1 billion. Odwa.
Did you ever see? Did you ever
outside of whatever Jay-Z was doing? But they managed to do that. So if we're gonna talk about apparel, then it had more impact than a product got Jay-Z, clothing label got Jay-Z. It will never stand because it's never built business of clothing like Jay-Z did. And if you're gonna talk about,
did you ever see Rockaway or anybody wearing Rockaway Bimzans?
Sure, I get bro. Yeah, but I know the guy at the time. Okay. ngexesha kufika i-counterfeit goods ne i-counterfeit goods ngezona zabangela mhlawumbi wena kwizi-spaces occupyayo create i-impression that ile nto kaLil Wayne is bigger than this. Back ngexesha lika-Jay-Z. Mel, give me a chance, dog, to finish this point.
Okay, I'll give you permission.
Jay-Z, they built an apparel company that way from scratch. That was almost $1 billion company on its own. And back then, that way, we couldn't access it in because of how the import and export was set up. It was difficult back then, even with music. We had to wait for them to be shipped, physical copies to be shipped from Kuala Karuzo Shongap. But now what these niggas are doing, they will talk to a company to print out as a way. Hence, is the counterfeit goods. So it was because I did see as a way, because back then I was into hip hop culture and whatnot. There were people working Fubu, Rockaway, Sean John, and all of these clothing labels. And we knew, but for every item that we saw, it was directly linked to Jay-Z. So whatever that way created the impression that young man in the load was big was because of counterfeit goods. Which shop when a proper that do you know that sold La Weka Lil Wayne? Pop, it was not even his. Hey, got Batman. Hey, Cashman.
So which shop did I see? Ooh,
yeah.
Dole shop you take. Street what? What's the name of this communication? Street Fever had that shit.
Ah, come on, bro.
Street Fever had that shit. Yeah?
Are you sure we're credible that way? You know, by clothing label into crop has arrived just because it's many shop space with company in the air.
Even not Chad also had that shit.
Fuck out of here,
Who Chad had young money heads, dog. What are you talking about? Your young money heads. YCMB. YCMB was there, got Chad.
Cap.
Real talk, dog.
Cap, man. Yeah, well, so this whole thing of hello in the Chachala good thing. Yeah, well,
that's why Nyamala.
This whole thing.
I think you should get a lapel mic because you move around a lot. So that Are you sure you got your headset on today? Because last time you had to run because of those questions and get the headset.
Yeah, it was waiting that day.
You were sure. Otherwise,
what's going on, Playboy?
Oh, good. Just tired. Just landed. Yeah, I'm with George. Beautiful George.
Yeah, they're going nice, Linda. The backdrop is crazy.
All right. Thank you.
Crazy.
Thank you. Otherwise, great.
All good.
What's been happening
over the weekend? Bending up as so whenever so the boy and not physically good because of hangover and whatnot, but spiritually really great.
It's always like refreshing when you touch base with the motherland, with the mother soil.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I don't have any place that I can go to and say, I went there and I touched the land. Yeah, well, hey, speaking of, I don't know English that much, but when I pass through there, when I go there, I feel like the grand. Yeah. Speaking of touching the land and all that nature talk, did you saw what Sbu?
I saw that.
So why are you laughing, bruh? First and foremost, I commend Sbu for what he did.
Yeah.
That thing offered, even though he took it all, he ripped it all from what Charlemagne said. I think Charlemagne said that thing like 3 years ago. Do you remember?
Sure.
Working barefoot and hugging trees. Yeah. I remember he even made a joke about hugging trees, Charlemagne and all that.
Yeah. They asked, bro. They understand a lot. There is comical about that whole thing, especially because I have. I appreciate the fun about you and how people will make you fun of do it that way because of that. Yeah, boy.
Can you give just the about the context of what we're talking about? What happened?
Yeah. Boy, benza nibona namhlanje. Yeah, bo uSbu behleli phansi, yeah, bo. So he was talking about the need for people to hug trees, yeah, or to be in direct contact with nature, and how us as Black people we should be grateful that we have melanin esibangela closer to the earth, yeah, or to nature and all of that. So people, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, they need to take off their shoes and let their feet touch the ground and feel the ground, yeah, bo, and all of that. Yeah, bo, which is something grand, yeah, bo. Inyani, bukhona ubunyani,
But what is that you guys found comical about that?
I would think even the way your glove video, like we've seen so much of this charlatan and all these people taking us for a ride. Now we're bamboozling the fuck out of people, yeah, but with other messages, yeah, well, so ngeyona nto lawo and thina ke with the spaces there we always make fun of abenza lawo way. So I think ukuthi lawo way there's the inside jokes that always fly around with spirituality, and not that as he take it seriously, but we just like letting jokes fly that way whenever we feel in share.
But Landoliana is something that we should practice, like get closer to nature, hug the tree, walk barefoot and all that, like bask in the sun, get those vitamin D. As someone that is always preaching spirituality and meditation, do you ever do those things? Because I believe you claim that you meditate, so do you ever do those things?
I do not claim, dog.
I've never seen you meditating, so I won't say that you meditate.
You have nah, do that shit.
I ain't seen you doing that. The only thing that I remember, it was my son claiming that you were doing some funny stuff, doing some while the kid was trying to sleep. So I'm not sure whether it was you were trying to do some hypnotism on him so you can have your way with him. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. You claim.
I do that, bro. Yeah, well, I do that. Even now, open the that way, but hey, the of money sleep is sufficient, and London it affects productivity. Because I've been inundated with a lot of work and sleeping and all of that. So I need to find in there how I can connect, but just to be in alignment with people in the soul, the psychology, to be in alignment. And the only way I can adjust to my day in proper alignment is if I meditate, do a bit of research in yoga, about burning there, or if the moon is out, we'll just go talk to the moon or hug one of my trees here in the yard. But fortunately now I'm trying to learn a garden. I have a young garden situation going on. So going there, irrigating those plants, it's very therapeutic because by indirect contact with nature and planting a seed, watching it germinate, turning into a plant with life, and nurturing that to a point up where it produces food and nourishes you back. Well, that entire, so that's when you understand that you are part of a living cosmos. Well,
still on this subject of like being aligned, meditation, and focus. A couple of weeks ago, Joe Badass made headlines about like that it does not ejaculate during a sexual intercourse because he's trying to prevent his energy, because when you ejaculate, you give out your energy, your seed. So he does that for spiritual purposes. And also Kevin Gates, I believe, is also on the same tip. And now you also say that you also do that of semen retention. How does that thing? How does it work? How do you do it? Semen retention.
And the aware of by seven njani. That on the show, but it's not something and you can go on that way whenever I need to pray, I need to connect with the source. There's like a myriad of rituals Indians explore just to be closer. So even a way of preserving your life force. Yeah, but because the energy is now stronger that creates life. So if you can withhold from we misuse it, abuse it, whatever energy, but it's sexual transmutation. Yeah, but plus so you are careful with how you do it, even if you're gonna engage in a sexual activity, but you don't go as far as releasing your life force.
So
then in the middle of doing that, you channel as much as you're experiencing feeling, you start thinking and manifesting whatever you want to happen. That was sort of like a prayer, because it puts you in a different dimension. Yeah, well, this is why people are so addicted to sex, and there's an agenda that pushes about it to be constantly sexually stimulated, so that bazoba out of alignment with the spirituality sabo and bangakwazi acknowledge power banayo. Because if they could be aware of that, then it would be easy for them to manifest a whole lot of bullshit, a whole of shit about desire in their life. Yeah.
So like in simple terms, you are telling me that you'll be having like sexual intercourse, you'll be smashing, and when it's time for you to climax, you will hold it back, and it does not come out at all.
I can be practice then the so now the refrain from engaging, because I don't think I have willpower to stop enjoy from happening. I used to do it back then, as kids when we're exploring with our sexuality, then we'll start playing with our hands and all of that. I will try it in the middle of all that, and I will succeed at times. I will fail at times. But in ngalamaklayasha and succeeding ngawo and prolong, it will feel great. Yeah, well, you will still get the pleasure out of Lowele, but you will also get something better than physical pleasure.
Yima, let me get you right. You're saying that you used to do it when you were experimenting, or you have done it now while you're an adult now, like with the person. You're on top of someone as a human being, sexual beings, like you've been on top of someone and then you hold it back, you held it back.
I haven't tried that. But Jonga, I just momentarily abstain from engaging in sexual activity.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just to preserve the life force and that energy. I'm busy manifesting something. Out of alignment. But what we used to do, remember when we were kids?
No, I don't. don't. Don't try to put me into your shenanigans. I remember.
Other ways, if there's someone interested in exploring the wheeling, you can do research here, but I will just say this. Maybe you can try, maybe you uzame with your hand and all of that. Yeah, but Ghana go build it up now to that moment the climax. You stop. I you enjoy that stimulation, but how you push it further than that moment of few milliseconds before climax. You stop, you wait that way, you continue, you do that way. It's fucking difficult, bro.
Yes, it's important, to know thyself, because when you know thyself, you know your weaknesses and your strength. So basically, I'm not strong in that regard. And if that sounds like me working the whole month, and when it's time for me to get paid, I stop. I stop without seeing the reward, because that's the most satisfying part about working, about doing whatever you're doing that is sexual. Is that moment, that climax. So now I won't even try to do that. If I wanna, when I do it, I do to bust a nut, nigga.
Yabona kwazalenduka ikhona amala religion le isuke Asia, Buddhist. In Buddhism, in amalight yateachwa esemancinci pha. Yabo. So zingekabikho exposed to full-blown sexual activity. So they are taught how to do low way there, how to excite that energy and stop before yenzek. I think Tina, we went the opposite way about the way there. Had we not been exposed to the actual activity before, we were made aware of the power that way, how we contain or not getting far. Yes, I masterisha easy. Kanti if unomqala before abe introduced to a feminine lenuka companion, besinonginto besinoyikwazi uyenza with ease.
Uyenze bra, ungichaze baba yenze kanjani without doing it with your hands. Ungichaze baba, did you manage? Or Kanye, you couldn't manage? And keep
Knowing
it 100.
myself, dog.
Yeah?
Knowing myself, I wasn't was.
But when we talked about Lena, you say you do this thing, you practice then.
No, I'm kind of I'm aware, but Leno the explain right now, but I'm just abstaining for a.
So when are you aware of it, like Gela Klesha as a kid doing it, were you aware of its spiritual impact and all that? Okay, when you were doing it because of maybe let's say you got caught, okay, you were scared to see what's gonna come out, or what exactly? What was the reason why you were doing it then?
Life man from a book, but back then I had life experience years by me and do. So we try and see, but
I don't too much with that can do book. That is nonsensical.
But 11 enjoy, if obviously kuba knowledge nje yayengacirculate kakhulu kwindawo esihlala kuzo, so yaba weak, it couldn't penetrate ithought nje injalo la way, because ngapha ufakwa yezi bana upend njani uba player, the whole culture of incentivizing young men to play with women's hearts, but which is happening right now. Feminism is doing exactly the same thing. Eyabangela kubekho ipatriarchy inwenwe kanhloko lawo.
Yeah.
Wow, this is another type of topics that usually get discussed in this show.
What do you think of you used to call him a simp? Kanye West with this situation with Kim?
Yeah, bro. That's one thing about TikTok.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. And I was going through the catalog here too. Did we upload la episode that we're talking about kids, about the role the society nayo ekuyidlaleni ebantwaneni bakho?
I think we did. I think we did
upload yours.
Yeah.
It all boils down to low way. And interestingly, I was listening to Andrew Schultz from Frequency. Then Schultz said something like before later Kanye West. Yeah, bro. He said something interesting about TikTok. TikTok was social media as a China.
Yeah,
bro. And they have surpassed Facebook as the biggest social media platform in the world. Then he's saying, man, look at this. China is restricting usage of social media and internet. China. I think you're given a maximum of 4 hours a day to do whatever. And they are very in control of the images and the content that go through from outside. So TikTok, China, as on is popular. This is about kids, about experiment with engineering, robotics, and all of that. Then ba allow abanye busy showing booty, dancing, all sorts of shit that way.
Challenges.
Challenges. So you let Abanwan's minds be preoccupied by all this bullshit, but Ababako, Utata is the fun, the pieces in those educational. So there's no better psychological warfare better than this, because by the time they become adults, Aba are pre-exposed to that contribute to intellectuality of Mdana. Aba are busy with bullshit that way. Ebangela ku collapse value systems, society, families, and all of that. Then Kanye West, that we get to the situation. Kanye West is aware of this because he's part of top 1%. So he's aware of what the social media, the overexposure to internet can do him. And with him, modus operandi has always been exploiting media and all of this, over sexualizing everything. So Kim is being Kim and Kanye is being Kanye. Yeah, bo. And when to Kanye controlling and all of that, he has a position where she can generate interest and have and grow with followership and cultivate yonke la interest from the 85%, which later that way bazayidibanisa with brand and yonke lo way kuthengiswe qha. And Kanye West is concerned about the intellectual state of umntana wakhe.
But if Kanye West is concerned about intellectual state, why does he take private matters and make them public? Because I believe he's the one that cried out on the internet about, like, Ukim is allowing my daughter and all that. He's the one that's like, oh, using the same, what you call this, the same social network that to talk about into zomntana wakhe. Is he trying to gather soldiers around the world to be on his side? Okanye is being like a father, concerned father.
Hey,
Okanye is just a sim.
This is the thing with the Kanye West, though. Yeah, but so with as much as the attention seeking, that is characteristic of umfazi wakhe. But ngoyena attention who's bigger than Kim Kardashian okanye mhlambi bakwi level eyi-1. Yeah, because I'm sure there's a whole lot of people that could facilitate conversation between Kim and Kanye West, even though right now izinto zingakwazi ibangathi difficult for bona to have a mature conversation. There's other people abanokwazi unceda la wethu yathi message yakhe ibe ngapha okanye ezikhona ezinye indlela ebenokwazi ukuthetha nabantu. I know he communicated a message, but again, any moment to promote his album that way, dropping sometimes, man.
Oh, I think also Pusha T is dropping because I saw a snippet of the of a music video. Yeah, boy, to Pusha and Kanye.
I saw the track. The track dropped today, yeah, bro. So I'm yet to listen to it.
Diet Coke. Ooh.
Diet Coke.
Ooh. I can't wait. I can't wait to check it out. Pusha is my nigga.
Yeah, Fox is that nigga too, dog.
John, I know we got like 5 minutes left. I don't want this to happen every time, like we get cut off by internet outside. So I want us to go straightly. I want us to go straight into this game. Are you ready for it? Oh, you need to headset again.
Nah. Hit me, dog.
Cool. Lips or eyes?
Eyes.
Boobs or bums?
First one.
Yeah, boobs.
The first one. Yeah.
Okay. Thick or slim?
Slim.
Raw or rubber?
Rubber, Nick. What the fuck?
Are you sure?
This nigga. Hey, move on, Nick.
Light skin or dark skin?
Dark as fuck, Nick.
Submissive or headstrong?
Submissive.
Last one.
Yeah.
Your mother or your partner?
Ooh. Fuck, mother, Nick.
Your mother. All right, cool. I'm done. That was not as hard as last week's one.
Oh, that was tough. Even Alea was not easy. Okay, all right. AM is gonna be a bit different, but still same format.
Internet.
Well, so what's the difference? Just we're short and concise, man.
Okay.
What's the difference between gin and vodka?
Difference between gin and vodka?
Yeah.
I don't like gin. I like vodka.
What's the difference between hip hop and rap?
Rap is what you do. Hip hop is what you live. Hip hop is a culture.
Okay. What's the difference between a rapper and an MC?
A rapper is anyone that can put words together like rap, like rhythm and poetry. But an MC is someone that can command the crowd, someone that can really, someone that is like a very good skill set of the genre of like hip hop genre, kind of hip hop culture.
What are the differences between a man and a woman?
Differences besides genetic makeup. I think the difference between a woman and a man is the genetic makeup.
Only just that.
It, like you said, I must make it brief and short. So if I were to dwell, I have to go also now talk about like emotional and physical strength and all that. But to put it short and simple is the genetic makeup. Men got genitalia in men, which is balls and a penis. Women, whereas they have vagina and breast.
All right. Last one. What's the difference between a vibrator and a dildo?
A vibrator and a dildo. I think a vibrator is the one that is the battery that vibrates. Then a dildo is just something like a rigid. It does not vibrate.
Oh, wow. Okay, yo, I did not expect that, but
I think we got reached the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. MacG came through with some kinky stuff today. Did you sit down and really think about those words, those things, those questions?
Yeah, Doug, this is just off the top of the dome, Doug.
Wow, interesting. What is on the top of the dome? Tomorrow, I want us to talk about Joe Rogan, Nick.
Yeah, bro, we need to get to that, Doug. We do not have sufficient time today. Let's do that. Peace. Signing out.
Yes.
Yo, let's wait until this shit cuts because I haven't paid for this shit. But that's fine. Now we're gonna go. Yo, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Now that is gonna get cut.
When's it even the internet?
But somehow like, we just
cuts. We're out of here.